Today's podcast is going to be on the director Quentin Tarantino and his history and how films impacted history. I just rambled when I said that, but I'm going to start off with his life first. A quick summary right here. Quentin Tarantino full name is Quentin Jerome Tarantino. Was born in March 27, 1963, Knoxville, Tennessee. American director, screenwriter, who's also films noted for stylized violence and razor-sharp dialogue, fascination with film and pop culture. Okay, Tarantino worked in a video store in California before he started selling screenplays that became true romance and Oliver Stone's Natural Born Killers. In 1992, he made his film directing debut in Reservoir Dogs, a violent film about a failed jewelry store robbery. 2 years later, he established himself as a leading director in Pulp Fiction, a provocative film which was featured interesting crime stories, which won him the Palme d'Or at the Cannes Film Festival. That's what brings me a short summary of his life so far. But I want to talk about the two films that he had wrote himself that Oliver Stone and Tony Scott had directed. Now there's the Oliver Stone film Natural Born Killers is actually based off an actual people, Starkweather murders. Let's see. Natural Born Killers. Okay, Natural Born Killers. Because it's actually based off. I'm gonna see if they actually tell me. Let's see. Read more. All right. This one. All right, Quentin Tarantino, and let's see. Blah blah blah. Stone again. Quoted a controversial film on Natural Born Killers, written by Quentin Tarantino, but savagely violent, exploits a married couple played by Woody Harrelson and Julia Lewis, who are Stone claimed to be the film was meant to be a critical and sensational violence. Some critics find it guilty of exactly what it portrayed to be condemning. The Stone cast Anthony Hopkins is in the title role as Nixon. Measured to take the life of. Oh, why are you skipping over? You know what? I don't want to care about that. Stick with one thing. It's really knocks when you do that. I'm gonna see if I can find historical significance because let's see. I'm gonna take that part off. I typed in see it's based on a true story because I want to get the actual. I've been trying to just over and over again. Let's see. Natural Born Killers is an astonishing true story of a one woman and an 18-time killer who claimed her and her nearly became her 19th victim. This is the eminent accounts of one of the most gruesome serial killing histories. It was told who survived the fearsome details. All right. They're not telling me the Starkweather murders. Okay. Grisly crime spree. Real life Natural Born Killers. This is it. This has got to be right here. Okay. All right. Charles Starkweather and Carl Annie Fugate were a pair of teenagers who went on a killing spree throughout Wyoming and Nebraska in the late last week of January 1958. Uh, and in the 9 days, they killed 10 people, and the names may not be familiar, but they have been depicted in the films over, mostly notably in the Oliver Stone's 1994 Natural Born Killers. Yeah. Yeah, I read about that a long time ago, why, after I watched the film. But they described him as being a James Dean lookalike, kind of like character. Uh, there's some information as the girlfriend actually got she didn't get a life in prison, but she got parole when she was out in like '78, and he got the death penalty, of course. Um, Hold on a second. No, do this. Now, in the movie Natural Born Killers, uh, Mickey Knox and Mallory, uh, basically he's like her boyfriend, Mallory's boyfriend, and basically he comes over to the house, and the dad, who's not too fond of him, calls the cops on him. So he goes to jail, but he comes back. Uh, yeah, here it goes. The dad's played by the late Rodney Dangerfield, which, interesting enough, he's not playing it as a horrific character. Ed Wilson, Mallory's dad, was like, okay, it's kind of showing in the light showing kind of like a June Cleaver kind of thing, kind of like those old sitcoms. So when she has affection for him because he's like the butcher or something, he he runs off with her, and he calls the cops, and that's how he's in jail. But the movie starts off interesting enough as it starts off in a diner where they're already together, and a guy comes over and he tries to make a pass at her. She beats the crap out of her, and that's when the killing spree probably's already started, but it starts from there. But after that happens, they cut back to when they first just met. There's you can find it on Amazon Prime, or you can probably find it on YouTube too, like scenes from it. I would never advise anyone to watch this movie. The movie's very dark. The movie got a 46% on Rotten Tomatoes, means after nothing to me. It says the misadventures of Mickey and Mallory, outcasts of Lori and serial killing. They travel across Route 666, conducting a psychopathic, massive slaughter for money, and not for revenge, and just for kicks. The budget for the film, estimate budget, is $34 million, and it's Oliver Stone, Richard Rutowski, David Wolf, and screenplay by Quentin Tarantino. But yeah, this is it's on Prime, Hulu, Stars, Roku, and iTunes. Get on iTunes. But after Mickey goes to jail for he's been set up by Mallory's dad, he comes out, but he miraculously gets saved from a tornado that destroys the jail cell, and he gets out, comes home, and he kills her dad, and they just basically go on the killing spree. And that's pretty much what the movie is, basically 2 days of just, brutal murdering and killing for 2 straight days. And at one point, they end up in a a reservation where a shaman tells him that in basically in very few words, Stacy tells him that they're both monsters. He sees the evil in both of them, especially Mickey. And Mickey's having dreams of the horror of his parents and all that because he's seeing that, and it's almost like a precursor to basically Dexter, because the same thing happened in the TV show Dexter, where he had traumatic experiences that made basically mold him to who he became later as being like a mass murderer. So it's just that Mickey's more of a bigger redneck than actually that Dexter was. And then after, they stayed with the old man basically explained to them, told them a story about I think he referred to it. There's many versions. One with the scorpion and the frog, and one with a scorpion and a turtle, whatever. And this one was a man who found a snake frozen in the basically the out in the wilderness, and he let him thaw out, and he brought him back to life, and it bit him. And he said, "Why'd you bite me? It's in my nature." He was referring to Mickey. Mickey's having a nightmare. He woke up. He shot. He shot the shaman, and then I guess the fear, or maybe they're on peyote. They start seeing several, rattlesnakes all around them, and they were getting bit. But if they were getting bit, they would have been immediately dead. So they went to a pharmacy, late night pharmacy, to get medicine for it. But if they actually were supposedly getting bit by rattlesnakes, they would never have made it. So I'm assuming all this is basic guilt from killing his old man, who actually spared them. So while they were there, the clerk had called the cops, and then the cops showed up, and they were sworn up by cops, and he got the crap beaten out of him by the police officers. I think he was trying to allude the fact maybe a Rodney King thing, but let's be honest, they killing spree. No one's feeling sorry for him. They're taking a beating. And why does this happen? And this big time, detective Jack Scagnetti was on the beat looking for them, and he basically I'm trying to think. He was on the trail of it, and he's clearly a sociopath too. Most people in this movie are sociopaths or just evil in some way. So it's not just he's trying to say explain that they're all monsters in some aspect or another. So it's not just Mickey and Mallory. It's Jack Scagnetti. It's the warden, Dwight McCuskey, played by Tom Lee Jones. It's Rodney Dangerfield's character, Mallory's dad. Most of these people are just complete evil in this film. So there's not just one. There's a lot of people in this film too. I mean, there is a lot, and I don't want to say mean some of these people count because they're on television. They were adding in. Well, I know Quentin Tarantino used Stephen Wright. He's the voice over the guy in the what's his name, Reservoir Dogs. So it might be they had a relationship at that point. Now, while they were in jail, getting for arraignment or probably getting a death penalty, a producer who's basically the Geraldo Rivera was basically going to interview Mickey, and he's basically kind of like the same thing. Geraldo, years ago when he was like a well-known journalist, he had interviewed Charles Manson, and it kind of mirrors both stories. So this is partly that as well. And while he's interviewing him, he's telling him his life, and basically there's a powder keg going on, and it doesn't help the fact that they have a psychopathic the warden, basically Dwight, played by Tommy Jones, is just, they're probably waiting to kill him. So while he was giving his speech and how, we're all animals and all this, etc. and whatever, it already hits the fan. So when it basically hits the fan, Mickey's basically buying his time. He gets loose. He's in there. He basically gets loose, and he basically holds Wayne hostage. And they manage to get out with Mallory, and Mallory kills Jack. I think she stabs him or something. But they get free, and they're basically going through a killing spree throughout the